Bonjour, c'est Mademoiselle Stuart, and we're here for another French pronunciation lesson. So we already did part 1 where we started talking about what French sounds are, what French is going to sound like as compared with English, specifically American English, by the way. So today we're going to continue some more French stuff to make it easier when you're trying to read French words out loud. So when you're reading French words, there tend to be a lot of silent letters, and we're going to talk about how to figure out which one's which, and then we're also going to spend some time talking about the letter C and the different sounds that that will make. So first rule that we're going to talk about is what I refer to as the careful rule. I personally did not come up with that name for it. First place where I heard it was from my professors at Indiana University, so thank you. They're awesome. I don't know if they actually came up with it, but the careful rule is super, super useful when you're trying to sound out French words. So if you're looking at a French word and it ends with a consonant, so something other than a, e, I, o, u, then you want to be careful about final consonant pronunciation. So basically that means that if the word ends in C, R, F, or L, the 4 consonants in the word careful, then you usually will pronounce that final consonant. Otherwise, it will typically be silent instead. So we're going to run through some examples of words that fall under the careful category and examples that do not fall under that category. So for la lettre C, the letter C, we have mec, which is French for dude, and parc, which is French for park. So M-E-C-P-A-R-C, mec, parc. Next for la lettre R, the letter R, we have bonjour, French for hello or good morning, bonsoir, good evening, or hello after like 5 p.m. So technically I should have said bonsoir to you guys at the beginning of this video because it is after 5 p.m. right now. Then ordinateur, French for computer, is another example of that. For la lettre F, the letter F, we have bref, which is brief, in short, basically. Créatif, the masculine version of the adjective meaning creative, as a heads up for anyone who's getting ready for chapter 3 of Bien dit. Chapitre 1, vocabulaire 1 includes both créatif, the masculine version, and créative, the feminine version. So IF in a masculine changes to IVE for the feminine ending. And then pref. Pref is the shortened version of un professeur, a professor. Then for la lettre L, the letter L, we have quel, French for which or what, le centre commercial, the mall, and mal, meaning badly. So all of those letters end in C, R, F, or L, so when you're careful with those final consonants, you do pronounce them. The rest of the time, if a word ends with a consonant, it's going to be silent, usually. There are lots of exceptions in the French language. Sorry about that. Désolé. But some examples of words that do not end with C, R, F, or L include salut, French for hi or bye. So it's spelled S-A-L-U-T, but it's not salut, salut, because it doesn't have any other vowels after that T. That's not a careful letter. Several of our subject pronouns, we have nous, vous, il, plural, and elle, plural. Pas, which is the second half of ne pas, your little ne pas verb sandwich when you are trying to negate a verb. So as a reminder, if you're saying I like something, you say j'aime, insert thing. But if you want to say I do not like, it's je n'aime pas. So I don't want to hear je n'aime pas. It's je n'aime pas. That S is silent. Another example is français, the French word for French. It's not française, no, français, that S is silent. When you do have an E at the end of français, it changes to française, and that is the feminine version of the adjective, meaning French. But the noun is always masculine. Well, no, the noun is also sometimes feminine, if you're referring to someone as un français or une française, a Frenchman or a Frenchwoman, yeah. But the masculine version of français has S, and that is silent because of the careful rule. And then another example is mieux, which is a word that tends to throw off a lot of my students. Mieux meaning better, and it's an X, and they're like, what? Mukes? Panic? No, don't panic. Just ignore the X. It's just mieux. Ça va? So we have the careful rule. If you see C, R, F, or L, it will be pronounced at the end of the word. If it's not one of those letters or a vowel, then it'll usually be silent. So that's how the letter C will function at the end of a word, but if you have the letter C at the beginning of a word or a syllable, then it's going to function differently. So the letter C, le lettre C, can function in two different ways. Usually it'll either have a S or a K sound, depending on what letter follows it or if there's an accent on it. So if you have CE, CI, or CY, so CE, CI, or CY, that's going to make the S sound. And then if you have CA, CO, or CU, CA, CO, or CU, then it'll usually make a K sound. Examples of le lettre C, letter C making a S sound include the word ça, or well technically that's two words, the contraction of S plus A. So ça being it is, ceci meaning this, and bicyclette, bicycle. Examples of words in which you have the K sound from le lettre C are calendrier, calendar, comme, like, and culture, culture. The time when le lettre C will still make a S sound even if A, O, or U follows it is if you have un cédille, the cedilla accent, that little squiggly underneath the C. It looks almost like you're drawing a tiny S underneath the C, so it turns it into an S sound. So examples of that include français, once again the French word for French. If you forgot that cedilla, the cédille underneath the lettre C, then it would be franquais, which is gibberish, don't say that. There's also garçon, French for boy, so without the cedilla it would be garçon, also gibberish, and French for déçu, it's French for disappointed, and without the cedilla it would be mispronounced as décu, also not a word. To help you remember when le lettre C is going to make what noises, you can think about the phrase ça va comme ci comme ça. It's going like this, like that. It's going so. So think through where the C's are in there and what sounds it makes within that phrase, and that can help you out a little bit with that. So that'll be it for this little video. It's the end of the day. I'm getting weirder and weirder as the day goes on. But hopefully this was helpful. If you have questions, feel free to leave it in the comments section or ask me in class if you are one of my students. And voilà, c'est ça. Au revoir.